Okay, hi, hello. Welcome back, Alexandrian Codex. We're gonna be playing a Dragon Age playthrough. Why? Because I can't figure out what the fuck I want to play, and it's been a long time since I played the Dragon Age series, and it's deeply nostalgic. Playing through the Baldur's Gate 3 alpha, I almost want to call it a tech demo at this point. It reminded me a lot of Dragon Age Origins. I want to poke into why that is and get a nostalgic look back at this amazing landmark title. But to do that, we're going to be playing with a couple of mods. We are going to be playing with oh god damn it, a fix pack and another fix pack, I think. Yeah, let's see here. I was expecting Vortex to have a URL to these mods over here in the description, but of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Let's go to Dragon Age Origins and then mods. Download history? Yeah. So we have installed, I think, Improved Atmosphere and Quinn's Ultimate DAO Fix Pack. I was thinking about doing a bunch of stuff to make appearances fit with Dragon Age 2, but God, the install order was like, oh, this mod needs these 4 mods to work, and this mod needs like these 6 mods to work, and nobody ever made a fucking conglomerated master mod, and my time's more valuable than that. My time isn't that valuable right now, but it's more valuable than that. Improved Atmosphere. It greatly improves ambient NPC behavior, adds hundreds of new items, then equips most NPCs with them. God, that was a pepper at the back of my throat. With them in an attempt to improve immersion. Adds ways to handle certain situations, recreates cut content, fixes many vanilla bugs, adds dozens of new color tints, and much more. Quinn's Ultimate DAO Fix Pack, version 3.52. It does what it says. It restores a bunch of stuff. It fixes a bunch of stuff. Is it compatible? It's most likely not going to be compatible, but I'm assuming these two are compatible. If they're not, we'll find out. You know what? Improved Atmosphere, Quinn's Ultimate DAO compatibility. Hell yeah, this is only a year old. God damn it. God damn it. Alright, Improved Atmosphere, you're out. Which means I gotta reboot this, probably, to unload that mod. IA, you out. I'm sorry. Well, this is a good moment to go ahead and read this Reddit post. I was digging around for something like this. Dragon Age redesign is just aesthetics. It's a mod server mod plays terribly with other mods for clarity purposes. This is why you shouldn't use it. Extra NPCs wandering around maps, extra animations, who gives a shit. Dialogue changes merchant stock. There's so many miles. Modular installations pretty much don't work properly. Trade-off is improved aesthetics isn't worth the number of naked NPCs or crash the desktops you potentially run into. Okay, no, that satisfies me. We'll keep Quinn's Ultimate DAO and we'll boot this back up. Okay. Well, I'm glad I caught that before, running afoul of anything. I picked those two up because they were highly endorsed, highly download on the Mod Nexus. On Nexus mods, I should say. Yep, click play. But honestly, I skimmed what they did. Perfect. fuck out of here with... This'll go away eventually, right? Yeah, there it goes. New game! I'm so happy I can play this in my native resolution of 2560 by 1080. It's so satisfying. And so is the Golden City blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You brought sin to heaven, and doom upon all the world. Canticle of Threnodies? 813.
The chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the darkspawn into our world.
That voice acting,
The
goddamn.
mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast of the darkspawn. The mages had by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. The Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
One very, very, very cool thing about Dragon Age Origins was it may have been the first game that changed the tutorial entirely, the tutorial experience entirely based upon your character creation. Even a game like Baldur's Gate 3, even games like Mass Effect haven't followed in this model, unfortunately. I get a different background, one of 6 potential starting stories to start with, and they're mutually exclusive and they affect things all the way through the end of the game. It's incredible. It's really a brilliant little thing, but Unfortunately, it's just not super popular. Men and women in Ferelden are generally regarded as equals. Both genders are evenly represented in most organizations, noble houses, and military forces. Humans? No. Elves? Yes. Dwarves? Not for me. Once enslaved by humans, most elves have all but lost their culture, scrounging and impoverished living in the slums of human cities. Only the nomadic Dalish tribes still cling to their traditions, living by the bow and the rule of their old gods as they roam the ancient forests. Welcome nowhere else. Elves can be warriors, rogues, or mages. Mages, obviously. Wielding a power is dangerous as it is potent. You know that magic is a curse for those lacking the will to control it. You anxiously await your harrowing, the one chance to prove yourself against demons working without and within. Succeed or be slaughtered by the knights who warred against your kind.
Greetings.
Oh, these are presets. I'm like, why didn't that change the voice? Well, Alex. Ah, yes, the young to old slider. Very important to have. Blush color. Can I have no blush? I mean, that might be... What? Green. Yeah, blush intensity. Get rid of it. Lip color. I'm good, dog. I'm good. Eyeshadow. I'm good. Tattoo. Got it, a glimpse. I think these are all Dalish. I mean, this looks very dwarven. I go with that. Yeah, I'll go with that. Hair. Oh, there's a bunch of mods I could have installed to up-res the hair models and add some variety. But given that your character is exported to Dragon Age Inquisition, I wanted to just use native files when doing this to avoid any sort of compatibility issue. Jesus, Alex, what the fuck you doing awake? It's 2 a.m. Listen, I may have woken up at like 10 p.m. I woke up, I laid in bed reading Twitter until my phone died, as any good doom-scrolling leftist does. I made tea. It was lavender honey. It was delicious. I had breakfast. I applied to a bunch of jobs I'll probably never hear back from. I quietly crushed down my feelings of inevitable doom, and then I started doing this. Yeah. It doesn't matter when I'm awake and asleep. The good doomer has an electrical outlet next to their bed, so my phone can't charge by being plugged in anymore. I have taken so many showers with my phone that it corroded the charging connection, so the only way it can charge is wirelessly, so I have to use a wireless charger. So I cannot use my phone if it is charging. It has to sit on its little charging circle and be left the hell alone. Let's see, eye shape. God, the wide-eyed one is like, she has seen some things. This is the trauma eye set. Why do I shower with the phone? Because music from Pandora, because I don't have a sound system in my bathrooms. And this was years ago that it got corroded, and I just have the same phone. And, you know, other reasons we don't need to get into. It's just nice to have around. and I take a lot of very hot, steamy showers, so any electronics in the room with exposed charging ports, which are highly conductive, can be eaten away pretty quickly. Though, to be fair, when I did go in to get it repaired, they're like, what the fuck did you do to this thing? So maybe it was some other kind of caustic chemical. But yeah, the assumption is it's water. Tiny trauma eyes. Giant anime these actually aren't that big. But no, we're not going for the trauma eyebrows are killing me. The spacing's fine, height's fine. We got a green. We got a green, bluish, greenish. Go with that. Keep it far enough away. No, I text while I'm in the shower. I have a waterproof phone except for the charging port. I offer no apologies. It works fine. Wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. Hair color is... Oh right, eyebrow color is independent of hair color. Of course it is. God. These slider style character builders never really resonated with me very much. I honestly can't tell. I'm not gonna get too fixed over this. There's only one good slider. Is it the titty slider? The dummy thickness slider? Correct! Yeah, now that I have a, half-decent sound system in the rest of my apartment, I'll blast music from, like, my living room into my bathroom when I'm taking a bath or something. Because that's not so hard to hear through, but water's loud, alright, when I have a dehumidifier and an overhead fan on because I live in Seattle and everything's humid all the fucking time. You gotta kill the moisture before it kills you. It's hard to be able to hear things. I want to move... Nope. Oh god, this is the most awkward fucking thing, camera distance. Yeah. Okay, move down. Move up. This doesn't look quite right. It's like shiny in a very creepy way. Yes, this is what human skin looks like, fellow humans. Beautiful.
No, it's gone! How do you do? Greetings. Greetings! Charmed. Greetings. Ugh, my spell! This isn't working! Need something else!
Yeah, the ones that are worse than sliders where you can never get on the right spot, or ones where you get 38 fucking sliders for everything down to chin shape. I'm looking at you, Bethesda. I'm looking squarely at you for that. Even with the fucking Skyrim mods I have that are like, oh, you want to edit the tiny minutia of every fucking aspect of your character? Like, okay, it's cool, I get it, but like, I don't care. This is too much work.
Greetings.
Go with experienced. Name? Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to come up with 3 different names because... Can't change the last name, huh? Has to be Serana? Gross. Oh, I can't dump stat? But I could pump everything in the magic. Honestly, it's kind of legit. See, cunning is skills. Nah, I'm good with that. Just pump everything into magic. Install Ass Slider mod. Would you like 637 eyebrow shape options? Yes. My favorite thing about those character editors are when they have like 10 different slides for breasts, and like 3 of them are like large, outrageously large, ludicrously large, and just like, why don't you just have this all on one slider, buddy? Why do you gotta make it 5 different sliders for like, I want big titties, no, like unnaturally big titties, no, like would kill you big titties, no, like I don't want to see anything but titties. Like I worry for the people who sat and programmed that and were like, yes, this is some good shit. Right. I'm gonna have to level coercion to level up coercion. Coercion is useful because it's your ability to convince people, not just threaten people. It'll be fine. What do I need? 16? Now I never have to think about it again. My magic's gonna be a little womp womp from the beginning, but that's okay. Arcane Bolt, which totally not magical missile. Magical missile, listen to me. Magic missile. Entropy kind of sucks, as I recall. Spirit is pretty okay. Creation is what Win is for, so we're not touching that. Primal's alright. Hello. Oh my god, I can't remember what anything is. It's been so long. Entropy, I think, is what Morrigan gets spec'd into, right? Spirit? Is that also Win? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm going Primal because, haha. My magic's too low. Listen, we'll level up and we'll deal with that later. Give me Flame Burst. Give me... No. I'm not building a shitty mage who's really good at talking. I'll do that as we can level up, but I'm not opening with that. Nope. Flaming weapons or frost weapons is probably what I want to start with. Yeah. Because it's just a boost for your entire team, and it's quite helpful. Flame damage, cold damage, oh god. Long-term cold damage is probably better, because they're dragons, and I think they have better fire resistance. I can't fucking remember. Let's see, Flame Blast is a short-range AoE, right? Yeah. And Winter's Grasp is... single target? We'll do Winter's Grasp. Yeah, it's very silly character creation, and
on a cliff overlooking the dark waters of Lake Calenhad stands the tower fortress that is home to the Circle of Magi. This tower is the only place in Ferelden where mages may study their art among others of their kind. Within the high stone walls, the Circle practices its magic and trains apprentices in the proper use of their powers. But the Circle Tower is as much a prison as a refuge. The ever-vigilant Templars of the Chantry watch over all mages, constantly alert for any sign of corruption. This gilded cage is the only world you know. Found to be sensitive to magic at a young age, you were torn from your family and grafted here as an apprentice. Now, that apprenticeship is nearly over. All that remains is the final test, the harrowing.
Magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Thus spoke the prophet Andraste as she cast down the Tevinter Imperium. ruled by mages who had brought the world to the edge of ruin. Your magic is a gift, but it's also a curse. For demons of the Dream Realm, the Fade, are drawn to you and seek to use you as a gateway into this world.
This is why the harrowing exists. The ritual sends you into the Fade, and there you will face a demon, armed with only your will.
Yeah, no, seriously, trying to find good armor mods for Skyrim for female characters is a massive pain in the ass because they're all scaled on big titty mods. And listen, I use CBB and I use Body Slide, absolutely. I like people not looking like the horrific monsters that Bethesda made them look like, but having to resize every fucking armor mod because the default cup size is utterly ridiculous. Utterly. Haha. No, I feel ya. I feel that pain. Fortunately for Dragon Age, I didn't look into any armor mods. I know that there's like one sex mod for Dragon Age Origins, I think. And there's like one that tries to do what CBBE does. Sorta, but you know, that was outside of that. Yeah, that was outside of the scope of what I was going for here. I just wanted something authentic, but fixing the weird bugs that never got fixed. Alright, I'm ready.
Know this, apprentice. If you fail, we Templars will perform our duty. You will die.
I want to point out
This is
Cullen.
the very essence of
He's
magic,
right.
and your gate
He was right over here. Cullen from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Necessity, child.
He's right here.
Every mage must go through this.
But he actually looks
As we
older
succeeded, so shall you.
in Origins than he does in Inquisition.
And remember, the Fade is a realm of dreams. The spirits may rule it, but your own will is real.
The apprentice must go through this test alone, First Enchanter. You are ready.
Wow. You know, to go into the Fade, I could have just, like, I don't know, gone to sleep. The Fade is the realm of dreams, after all. Turn me down. Yeah, that looks better. Game can be played from a variety of tactical viewpoints. Yeah, the third person mode. Okay. Yes. Yeah, but we play like this, and is it Alt? It's Tab. There we go. It's right click to do shit. That is... Yes. Tutorials like move things to your taskbar so you're able to quickly cast them. Yep. Remove your character's armor or clothing now. Alright, sweet. I got into the Fade. Just gonna strip down and then put my clothes back on like a normal person. Completely normal behavior here. Please, God. Can I disable the tutorial? I know how to play the fucking game. Show tutorials. No. Get out of here. It's challenging enough for the casual observer to tell the difference between the Fade and the creatures that live within it, let alone between one type of spirit and another. In truth, there's little that distinguishes them, even the most astute mages. Even for the most astute mages. Since spirits are not physical entities, and therefore are not restricted to recognizable forms, or even having a form at all, one can never tell for certain what is alive and what is merely part of the scenery. It is therefore advisable for an experienced researcher to greet all objects they encounter. Typically, we misuse the term spirit to refer only to the benign, or at least less malevolent creatures of the Fade. But, in truth, all the denizens of the realm beyond the veil are spirits. As the Chant of Light notes, everything within the Fade is a mimicry of our own world, a poor imitation, for the spirits do not remotely understand what they are copying. It's of no surprise that much of the Fade appears like a manuscript, translated from Tevinter into Orlesian and back again by drunken initiates. In general, spirits are not complex, or rather, they're not as complex as we understand such things. Each one seizes upon a single facet of human experience: rage, hunger, compassion, hope, etc. This one idea becomes their identity. We classify these as demons, those spirits who identify with darker human emotions and ideas. The most common and weakest form of demons one encounters in the Fade is the rage demon. They are much like perpetually boiling kettles, for they exist only to vent hatred, but rarely have an object to hate. Somewhat above these are hunger demons, who do little but eat, or attempt to eat everything they encounter, including other demons, although this is rarely successful. Then there are sloth demons. These are the first intelligent creatures one typically finds in the Fade. They're typically only on rare occasions that they can be induced to get up and do harm. Desire demons are more clever and far more powerful, using all forms of bribery to induce mortals into their realms, wealth, love, vengeance, whatever lies closest to your heart. The most powerful demons yet encountered are the pride demons, perhaps because they, among all their kind, most resemble men. From Beyond the Veil, Spirits and Demons by Enchanter Mirdromo. Downloaded a Diplomacy 1901 app. Can't wait to have random people online betray your trust harder than all your exes combined. I was thinking yesterday about, I could get back into playing an MMO or being part of an online gaming community, and then I was like, I've been burned a lot before. We know what that... Alright, sure. You know what? I'm gonna read all the fucking flavor text. I'm gonna out myself here. I don't read journal entries. I don't read the lore when I play games. I get broad strokes lore, but when it's just like, would you like to read an encyclopedia? I say no. No, I would like to play a video game. Among apprentices of the Circle, there's nothing regarded with more fear than the harrowing. Little is known about this rite of passage, and that alone would be cause for dread. But it is well understood that only those apprentices who pass this trial are ever seen again. They return as full members of the Circle of Magi. Of those who fail, nothing is known. Perhaps they are sent away in disgrace. Perhaps they are killed on the spot. I heard one patently ridiculous rumor among a circle at Rivian, which claimed that failed apprentices were transformed into pigs, fattened up, and served at dinner to senior enchanters. I could find no evidence that the Ravani Circle ate any particular quantity of pork. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genevinti. Okay, this is just a quote from Knight Commander Gregor. Yep. And yep, this is from First Enchanter Irving. Just some quotes. Cool. Hey, I know how the controls work. Thank you. Don't bother me with this ever again. Don't you talk to me or my son ever again. Oh my god. Why is this zooming in? I'm holding down right mouse button. It's right click. Oh my god. This is gonna take some getting used to. Can I change that? Can I change that to left click? Cause like, thank you. Oh god, no, you want me to right click for it. Nope. Change my mind. I'll be good. Don't make me do that ever again. How the fuck do I... It's A and D to rotate the camera, not Q and E. No, because we don't use WASD in this house. I forgot. This is real-time pausable. This is not, There's nothing else to check out up here? Yeah, okay. I'm trying to... I can use WASD. Oh, yeah, I'm not clicking ever again. There we go. This feels more natural. Can I just double-click on you? Right-click on you? No, I don't have a staff. Yeah, right. Don't have a weapon. Nope. Why would we give you a weapon? I can run up to them and just start fucking wailing on them.
Right.
I like to move this here. Do 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 do.
Someone else thrown to the wolves, as fresh and unprepared as ever. It isn't right that they do this, the Templars, not to you.
It's been too long
me,
since I played
anyone.
Dishonored. Hey, it's a pride demon. By that I mean, no, it isn't right at
They
all.
keep doing it, don't they? We get treated like rabid dogs and we let them get away with it. It's always the same, but it's not your fault. You're in the same boat I was, aren't you? Allow me to welcome you to the Fade. You can call me, well, Mouse.
Uh-oh, it's a Redditor. It's an incel. It's all their fault. It's not my fault. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You can change your shape?
This place isn't real like you understand it. Here you are what you perceive. I think I used to be like you. Before. The Templars kill you if you take too long, you see. They figure you failed, and they don't want something getting out. That's what they did to me, I think. I have no body to reclaim, and you don't have much time before you end up the same.
Well, that's not gonna happen to me.
That has been said before, but you don't know the danger. There's something here, contained, just for an apprentice like you. You have to face the creature, a demon, and resist it. If you can. That's your way out. Or your opponents, if the Templars wouldn't kill you. A test for you. A tease for the creatures of the Fade.
Well, anything can die. Doubt it's as simple as that.
You would be a fool to just attack everything you see. What you face is powerful, cunning. There are others here.
Sure you are, buddy.
Other spirits. They will tell you more. Maybe help. If you can believe anything you see. I'll follow, if that's all right. My chance was long ago, but you may have a way out.
I am not your way out. Leave me alone, you tiny rat fuck.
The spirit is not far. Don't go near it unless you're ready to fight.
I've been politely not bringing this up, but on the subject of Redditors, somebody went absolutely ham, commenting like 8 fucking times, of which I deleted like 3 of their comments, on the first, the New Order video that I posted to YouTube, going like, well, if you don't know the lore, you should have just gone to the subreddit and asked people to explain it. Like, what the fuck kind of logic is that? My mod's so dense and illogically constructed that it requires its audience to seek out information not on a wiki or an FAQ or a README or like some officially supported file. Now go to the fucking subreddit for a mod for an already niche game to learn about somebody's circle jerk lore that is totally abstract and disconnected from reality. I responded to it, you know, politely, but Yeah, I get the impression that and there's a lot of questions they asked that was just like, yeah, you're not an artist, or you are not like critically trained as as an artist or creative. Like, there's a lot of things that are pretty base and essential, and using the word elitist to describe me, like, that's a dog whistle, dog. Elitist is a word that Fox uses to get people who haven't been educated enough to hate people who do have access to education because supposedly we think that we're better than you. No, we don't, comrade. Undereducated people, I don't think I'm better than you. I think I'm the same as you. I've just had access to opportunities and privilege that you haven't. And I think you deserve those same opportunities and privileges. And it's the people who are throwing around that elitist nonsense. They're the real elitists who think that they're better than both of us. But, you know. I won't get too into it, but oh my god, yeah. It did not surprise me that me poking fun at the mod over and over and over elicited some sort of response. That's why I don't like paradox titles. Lyrium. More than half the wealth of Orzammar comes from a single, extremely rare substance. Lyrium. The Chantry believes it to be the waters of the Fade, mentioned in the Canticles of Theronides, the very stuff of creation itself, from whence the Maker fashioned the world. Only a handful of mining caste families hazard extracting the ore, finding veins in the stone quite literally by ear. For in its raw form, lyrium sings, and only the discerning can hear the sound, even through solid rock. Even though dwarves have a natural resistance, raw lyrium is still dangerous for all but the most experienced of the mining caste to handle. Even the dwarves, exposure to unprocessed mineral can cause deafness or memory loss. For humans and elves, direct contact with lyrium ore produces nausea, blistering of the skin, and dementia. Mages cannot approach unprocessed lyrium. Doing so is invariably fatal. Despite its dangers, lyrium is the single most valuable mineral currently known. In the Tevinter Imperium, it's been known to command a higher price than diamond. The dwarves sell very little of the processed mineral to the surface, giving the greater portion of what they mine to their own smiths, who use it in forging truly superior dwarven weapons and armor. What processed lyrium is sold on the surface goes only to the Chantry, who strictly controlled the supply. From the Chantry, it's dispensed both to the Templars, who make use of it in tracking and fighting the Maleficarum, and to the Circle. In the hands of the Circle, lyrium reaches its fullest potential. Their Formari craftsmen transform it into an array of useful items, from the practical, such as magically hardened stone for construction, to legendary silver armor of King Calenhad. When mixed into liquid and ingested, lyrium allows mages to enter the Fade fully aware, unlike all others who reach into it only while dreaming. Such potions can be used to aid in the casting of especially taxing spells, for a short time granting a mage far greater power than they normally wield. Lyrium also has its costs, however. Prolonged use becomes addictive, the cravings unbearable. Over time, Templars grow disoriented, incapable of distinguishing memory from present, dream from waking. They frequently become paranoid, as their worst memories and nightmares haunt their waking hours. Mages have, additionally, been known to suffer physical mutation. Magister lords of the Tevinter Imperium were widely reputed to have been so affected by their years of lyrium use that they could not be recognized by their own kin, nor even as creatures that had once been human. From In the Pursuit of Knowledge, Travels of a Chantry Scholar, by Brother Genitivi. Just had a cup of coffee. It tasted so elitist, I eluded right away. Yeah. There are some very real divisions in society, right? But, how educated you are is a pretty meaningless one. It's something used to make people feel superior to one another, whether that be superior because they're educated or superior because they're not educated. They're not indoctrinated, or that they're not ignorant, and it's a bunch of unself-aware bullshit. We are liberal elites in this house. No. Please, no. No, we are I was gonna say socialist elites, but that's it's definitely an oxymoron. No, please God, no blue wave, no blue elite, no. Help. The Black City. No traveler to the Fade can fail to spot the Black City. It's one of the few constants of that ever-changing place. No matter where one might be, the city is visible. Always far off, for it seems the only rule of geography in the Fade is that all points are equivalent from the Black City. The chant teaches that the Black City was once the seat of the Maker, from whence he ruled the Fade, left empty when men turned away from him. Dreamers do not go there, nor do spirits. Even the most powerful demons seem to avoid the place. It was golden and beautiful once. So the story goes, until a group of powerful Magister Lords from the Tevinter Imperium devised the means of breaking in. When they did so, their presence defiled the city, turning it black, which was, perhaps, the least of their worries. Well, hey, if we're talking about kissing, you know, the president made a pretty exciting offer to the assembled crowd today. Biden's gotta do more than kiss me on the lips. These old dudes are in an interesting bidding war. I keep holding down Alt, it's tab in this game.
Another spirit this way. It never seemed equal to its named.
Another mortal thrown into the flames and left to burn, I see. Your mages have devised a cowardly test. Better you were pitted against each other to prove your mettle with skill, than to be sent unarmed against a demon.
You know why I'm here?
You are not the first sent here for such testing, nor shall you be the last, I suspect. That you remain means you have not yet defeated your hunter. I wish you a glorious battle to come.
What kind of spirit are you?
I am Valor, a warrior spirit. I hone my weapons in search of the perfect
Something
expression of
false
combat.
valor. Something stolen valor. Make your own joke here. Did you make these weapons?
They are brought into being by my will. I understand that in your world, mages are the only ones who can will things into being. Those mortals who cannot must lead such hollow, empty lives.
True that. Would one of these weapons affect a demon?
Without a doubt. In this realm, everything that exists is the expression of a thought. Do you think these blades be steel? The staves be wood? Do you believe they draw blood? A weapon is a single need for battle, and my will makes that need reality. Do you truly desire one of my weapons? I will give one to you, if you agree to duel me first. Valor shall test your mettle as it should be tested.
Yeah, that's some horseshit. Speaking of elitism, the other day, had a British guy try to pull the British English is the only true form of English. Americans and other colonies are wrong. Dude kept reading about how you were a dumb, uneducated, and uncultured idiot. Literally deleted his entire comment chain when you said that you were a PhD on English literature and language. Yeah, and as far as English goes, the accents of English, the most historically intact English accents, actually exist here in the United States in coastal communities in Virginia, I think, Virginia or North Carolina. So if we're talking about traditional English, the Americans actually have it. The British have been the ones to deviate from historical English more than we have. But also, like, language is fluid, isn't it? Abstract, meant to communicate ideas and emotions and expressions, and so long as you understand the concept that the other person is relaying, you're effectively using language and communicating, so we don't... Yeah, the whole idea of, like, real English, fuck off. Maybe the best parts of language are the, you know, inventions and variations and derivations and new forms of words and terminology that get introduced over time, like in all sorts of human activity. Seems you prefer to kill me yourself.
How dare you accuse me? I am no demon preying upon helpless mortals to steal their essence. I am a being of honor and valor. I am a warrior.
Improve it. Help me fight the demon.
You are insolent. But your will is unquestionably strong. Very well, mortal. You prove to me that you possess the strength to resist this demon. Go, prove your worth as you must. I am confident you will succeed.
Thanks, nerd. Y'all got any more of that stuff? Nope. Okay. Hey, mouse, you're a little piece of shit. You're not a sneaky pride demon. I'm just a little mouse. Yeah. I miss that sound. That sound. It's very generic, and I haven't heard it in a long time. Okay. I wanna double check that F5 is quick save here, and this isn't one of those weird fucking games where it is quick load. It is. All right, good.
Be cautious. There is another spirit here. Not the one hunting you, but...
Wow, weird. Yeah, you know, I not always word good.
So, you are the mortal being hunted.
Correct.
And the small one, is he to be a snack for me?
Yes.
I don't like this. He's not going to help us. We should go.
No matter.
Well, I use many word when few word do trick.
Eventually.
My favorite fucking thing about that joke is how many goddamn words it takes to say. I know that's the entire joke, but it's something is deeply, deeply satisfying about that joke to me. Just uses a lot of short words instead of a few long words. Are you here to help me?
Help you? Nothing can help you.
Man, listen, it's 2020. I don't need that kind of attitude.
Surely you have better things to do. Bother sloth, mortal. I tire of you already.
God. The Fade and the magic of Dragon Age is one of my absolute favorite things from this series. It's so much more captivating and interesting and, like, engrossing to me than any magic system ever? Like, Dungeons and Dragons magic system, in comparison to this one, is just floofy horseshit. Like, and, you know, this ties into a lot of my fascination with dreams and fixation on dreaming and, like, the weird psychology and cognitive landscapes there, and yeah, it's super cool. Oh, I need help defeating a demon.
You have a very nice staff. Why would you need me? Go.
Use your weapon, since you have earned it. Be valorous.
He looks powerful. It might be possible that he could teach you to be like him.
Like me? You mean teach the mortal to take this form? Why? Most mortals are too attached to their forms to learn the change. You, on the other hand, little one...
Blows my mind that people can't remember dreams. That's deeply horrifying to me.
Years ago.
I don't think I'd make a very good bear. How would I hide?
Though you're here to help, but you're just a coward.
A coward could not have endured as I have. The time I have spent waiting for some possibility of release. But you are right.
Phrasing.
Hiding doesn't help. I'm sorry, it's the Fade. It changes you. I'll try.
Just gotta get some release. Okay, buddy.
Teach me.
That's nice. The teaching is so exhausting. Away with you now.
I told you he wasn't going to help us.
Teach him.
You wish to learn my form, little one? Then I have a challenge for your friend. Answer 3 riddles, correct?
Yes, 3 riddles. I read about this in a little book called The Hobbit.
And I will devour you both. The decision is yours.
Hit me up, Smeagol.
Surely? This gets more and more promising. My first riddle is this. I have seas with no water, coasts with no sand, towns without people,
mountains without land. What am I? You're a map. I'm the map, I'm a map, I'm the map, I'm the map.
Correct. Let's move on. The second riddle. I'm rarely touched, but often
held.
If you
have wit, you'll use me well.
What am I?
Tongue.
Yes, your witty tongue. Fair enough.
Oh God.
One more try, shall we? Often will I spin the
It's a horrible dream.
Will I charge a fee? I'll amuse you an entire eve. But alas, you won't remember me. What am I?
Teeth falling out plus high school bully flirting with you in the same nightmare. Yep, that sounds fucking horrible. Also, interesting revelation that your high school bully is looking for a romantic liaison with a toothless individual. Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty bad dreams out there. Oh, that was a few years ago. Still. It's been blissfully months since I had a teeth falling out dream, but when I get them like on and on for about 2 weeks before the dreams stop. And in that 2 weeks, like, first thing I do after waking up, it's like, I'm gonna go brush my teeth. Because maybe my brain's trying to tell me something. No, it's just anxiety, Alex. Often I'll spin a tale. Never will I charge a fee. I'll amuse you for an entire eve, but alas, you won't remember me. What am I? A dream. You're a dream. But also, I remember my dreams, so...
You are correct. Rather...
Oh, no.
Here in the Fade, no. But you've won my challenge and proven yourself an amusing distraction. So, I shall teach you my form. Now, listen carefully.
Like this? Am I a bear? It feels heavy.
Close enough. Go then and defeat your demon or whatever you intend to do. I grow weary of your mortal prattling.
Thanks, Sloth. You're a real one. I think that's all the lore we can pick up in here. Yeah. Mouse, you're a piece of shit. You're the real bad guy here. Oh, right, and I'm remembering why I didn't want to get fire magic. Fire magic is fine, except when you fight a rage demon. It's really interesting to me. So I started up, if you check out the VODs, you can see it for yourself. I started up a playthrough of Baldur's Gate, the original, going like, all right, I've been putting this off forever. I've had several abortive attempts at playing the game. I'm gonna do it for real this time. I got into the combat tutorial. It's all real time and clunky as hell. I'm like, God, nope, I'm not doing this. Fuck this game. I'm never trying this again. It's funny to compare how clunky and awkward and unintuitive that combat is with Dragon Age, which is still real time, but it's a lot smoother.
And so it comes to me at last.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad you told him off.
The land of the living with your
You know,
eyes, creature.
I'm not gonna shame being horny. I will shame being horny, going full horny on somebody's DMs with no consent, no prior interaction. And especially given having like a very abusive history between the two of you. What a piece of garbage. And I want to say that we all have weak moments where we go perhaps too horny. But there's a difference between overstepping and subjecting someone to too much. On a scale of 0 to Witcher 1, oh, it's way worse than Witcher 1. Way worse. The original Baldur's Gate is so old, to me it's unplayable. I played through The Witcher 1 2 or 3 times. And yeah, it's clunky, but Jesus Christ, the original Baldur's Gate, it's AD&D is its rule set, which is unintuitive as hell, and it doesn't explain any of its mechanics. It just kind of expects you to pick up on them. Like it's very not friendly to people who don't know Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which is 2nd edition, in and out from the beginning. It doesn't bother to try to explain anything to you. It's just like, fuck you. You should know how to do this. And, yeah, not a good time. Yeah, whatever. Come and get me.
I shall. So this creature is your offering, Mouse. Another plaything as per our arrangement.
I'm not offering you anything. I don't have to help you anymore.
And after all those wonderful meals we have shared, now suddenly the mouse has changed the rules?
I'm not a mouse now, and soon I won't have to hide. I don't need to bargain with you.
Look at that pride. Yeah, it's pretty hard to fuck up with flirting with me too. But being inconsiderate is like the way to fuck it up. That's not fair. That's not entirely true. It
Actually did it.
with
When you came, I
the
hoped that
awkward
maybe
way
you might
that
be able
men,
to, but I
mostly
never really
men,
thought
try to
any of
flirt,
you were worthy.
which is just like, hey, you wanna fuck? No, it does nothing for me. It's a huge turnoff. The amount of men on dating sites that I've just immediately been like, decline, because they have no game, they're not clever, they're not well-spoken, they're not subtle, and also, like, they're not attractive enough to get away with being that blunt. Not even blunt, but, like, Grading? I don't know. I can't think of the right word here, but yeah. Some people can get away with being forward. Most people, in fact, can get away with being forward if you do it politely and, you know, considerately. But, not everyone. Yeah, this was all too easy.
That is because you are a true mage. One of the few. The others, they never had a chance. The Templars set them up to fail, like they tried with you. I regret my part in it. But you have shown me that there is hope. You can be so much more than you know.
I think I tend to flirt with people pretty easily, but I don't tend to make advances on people. I tend to want people to hit on me first, and then I'll reciprocate and just be insufferably flirty or hung up on people. Yeah, no problem. But I typically need somebody else's permission to do that, which, you know, haha, big surprise here. Big sub hours over here. What is it that you think you can get from me?
You defeated a demon. You completed your test. With time, you will be a master enchanter with no equal. And maybe there's hope in that for someone as small and as forgotten as me. If you want to help, there may be a way for me to leave here, to get a foothold outside. You just need to want to let me in.
Not my problem, Mouse.
No. It must be your choice. Quickly now. The Templars are going to kill you. Can't you feel the sword at your neck? They believe all magic evil, the Fade evil. Once you are here, you become what they fear.
I haven't really flirted with anyone in just about a year now. Just about a year ago was when I got out of my last thing resembling a relationship. Prior to that, consistently I'd flirt. Well, that's not true. There's someone I still flirt with. Consistently, there's like 3 people I flirt with and have for like the better part of a decade. And then plus or minus whoever I'm dating at that time, number can get up to like 6 people consistently, but it's typically somewhere between like 1 and 3. Yeah, were you ever really an apprentice?
What?
No.
Yes, of course.
Now fuck off. You're a demon.
I was. Isn't that enough? It should be enough. For you?
Maybe they are right about you. Simple killing is a warrior's job. The real dangers of the Fade are preconceptions, careless trust, pride. Keep your wits about you, mage. True tests never end.
Just that easy. Just be a dick to everything in the Fade and you'll get out A-okay. Deep voice dream machine.
Are you alright? Say something, please.
I kind of want to... I can't... I kind of want to turn up the in-game volume a little bit, or turn myself down. Going?
Oh, I'm glad you're alright. They carried you in this morning. I didn't even realize you'd been gone all night. I've heard about apprentices who never come back from harrowings. Is it really that dangerous? What was it like?
Leave me alone.
So much for friendship. I'll leave you alone then. And now you get to move to the nice mage's quarters upstairs. I'm stuck here and I don't know when they'll call me for my harrowing.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it.
Easy for you to say. I've been here longer than you have. Sometimes I think they just don't want to test me.
Maybe you're not ready yet.
I've been ready for a long time. I'm afraid they don't want me to take the test. You do the harrowing, the rite of tranquility, or you die. That's what happens.
Yeah, you worry too much.
I shouldn't waste your time with this. I was supposed to tell you to see Irving as soon as you woke up.
Alright, well I should go talk to him
Better not
then.
keep him waiting. We can speak later.
Yeah, I hope we don't. I know we have to, Johan, because the game insufferably is like, you're gonna help this loser. And I don't want to. I can't turn this up any. Okay, alright, that's
Is
fine.
she awake? Why do you care? Are you best friends now?
I'm just curious. That Templar, Cullen, said it was the quickest, cleanest harrowing he'd ever seen. He says she's very talented and very brave.
Well, he would, wouldn't he?
I just know I'll be terrified when my time comes. Like Wendell was. He'd throw up every day for the next week just thinking about it.
That was an abrupt end to your conversation, but okay. So what's going on in here? Y'all got any some lyrium dust? Don't mind if I hey, you want to do a
I
line?
wonder when I'll get to go for my harrowing.
All right, maybe later. Yes, wearing this hat gives me mental resistance. Look at how resilient I am.
The circle is so much nicer than the alienage, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you know, this prison is a lot nicer than the ghetto. What an insightful comment, apprentice mage. You don't end conversations mid-stories? Well, you know, sometimes. I'd be lying if I said I never did that, especially because there's recorded evidence of me doing that on this channel.
Someone's always watching. I swear it's like the walls have eyes. Shh.
That was weird. Their voice sounded like it was coming from behind me, and it was super washed out. Hey, Bran.
There's something you need.
Hey, Bran, did you know you become the king of Winterfell? Oh, I'm sorry, of, Westeros? That's a big, Nah, you know what? Have a nice day.
Same to you.
Templar.
Bran. He's the chatty one.
Is he? Is he, though? Bran's got a big fucking mask that makes him hard to understand. There we go. I'm remembering how the controls in this fucking game work.
Did you hear about the apprentice who disappeared last week?
How does it feel to be done with the harrowing?
Feels great to be done with all you apprentice shits. Private documents that you can't read because it's just an item that you sell. There's no jump, is there? Nope.
And force demons into your service. That's what I hear anyway.
What's this about blood magic? Sounds like a good time. Ooh, more dust? Oh, these students are hitting the dust pretty hard. I know you don't snort the dust, but like you could. Yes, this is the staff cabinet. It has one staff in it. Can't jump since the national team got caught for doping. You can jumping later, games.
Must control the fire with your will. Keep the flames steady. We don't want it sputtering and leaping about. That's what causes most of the injuries.
Injuries? But...
Steady. It reacts to your emotions. If you panic, it will... No. Breathe.
Oh.
You know, in my experience, flint and tinder works just as well. Maybe we should start with that.
Should have let him kill himself.
Was the harrowing scary? It must have been. Why else would they call it that?
Hey, Enchanter.
I hope you've spoken to the first enchanter. He seems eager to see.
You know, I'm getting to it, man. I'm on my way. I'm just doing the rounds.
Chantry says about magic. Magic must serve man and not rule over him.
Yeah, okay. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For as long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths. sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as her own thoughts, but impossibly separated from her own world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding a disparate and ever-shifting realm of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of Dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can. And as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sweeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events which, like reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Culture by first enchanter Josephus.
Very good. And what do you think that means? Can anyone tell me? No, that's not what it means.
It means that magic should be used to help people, but we can't use our magic to force people to do what we want.
Younglings.
We should not abuse the gift the Maker has given us. I heard your harrowing went well. That's wonderful to hear.
Is it wonderful to hear? Sounds disingenuous.
If I put all my power behind that spell, you would have been obliterated. I am not your enemy. Fear is your enemy. It is a weakness that can be exploited. Should you face a demon with your will wavering so, it would consume you. Is that what you want? No? Then stand firm and know you can resist whatever I throw at you. Again.
I really like how all of the apprentice mages are just piss pants, scared, garbage boys. And all the enchanters are just like, quit being a little bitch. Let me throw magic at you. Set yourself on fire. It's fine. It's fine. Quit whining. I should probably put a cut in... God, at some point? I mean, we're through the tutorial, sort of, but we're not, actually. We've still got miles to go before we sleep. So maybe this will be 2 hours. Once we exit the Mage Tower, I think is where I'm going to put in a cut for today.
On it.
You're not going to keep the first enchanter waiting, are you?
I mean, I planned on it. Do you have a problem with that? Maleficarum. It's been asked, what are Maleficarum? And how should we know them? I've been as troubled by this question as you have. You've come to me for the question of the Maker. But none have seen the Maker's heart, save beloved Andraste, and so I've done as all mortals must, looked at the words of his prophet for answers, and there I found respite from a troubled mind. For she has said to us, magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Therefore, I say to you, they who work magic which dominates minds and hearts of others have transgressed the Maker's law. Also, Our Lady says to us, those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are as hated and accursed by the Maker. And so it is made clear to me, as it should be to all of us, that magic which fuels itself by harming others, by the letting of blood, is hated by the Maker. Those mages who honor the Maker and keep his laws we welcome as brothers and sisters. Those who reject the laws of the Maker, in the words of his prophet, are apostates. They shall be cast out and given no place amongst us. From the Sermons of Justinia the First. Guess I have to go upstairs before I can get your quest. That's fine. That's fine. I'm supposed to cut through here. I'm not gonna. Ooh, a book. Rites of Annulment. In the 83rd year of the Glory Age, one of the mages of the Navarran Circle was found practicing forbidden magic. The Templars executed him swiftly, but this brewed discontent amongst the Navarra Circle. Mages made several magical attacks against the Templars, vengeance for executed mage, but the Knight Commander was unable to track down which were responsible. 3 months later, the mages summoned a demon and turned it loose against their Templar watchers. Demons, however, are not easily controlled. After killing the first wave of Templars who tried to contain it, the demon took possession of one of its summoners. The resulting abomination slaughtered Templars and mages both before escaping into the countryside. The Grand Cleric sent a legion of Templars to hunt the fugitive. They killed the abomination a year later, but by that time it had slain 70 people. Divine Galatia, responding to the catastrophe in Navarra and hoping to prevent further incidents, granted all circle clerics of the Chantry the power to purge a circle entirely, if they ruled it irredeemable. This rite of annulment has been performed 70 times in the last 700 years. From Of Fires, Circles, and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry, by Sister Petrine, Chantry scholar. Cordelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year -15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared by its completion, he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. 12 years later, in -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Alessa of Montsimard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended, and the divine age began. From Ferelden, Folklore and History, by Sister Petrine, Chantry scholar.
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker. Blessed are the penitents who seek his return. Blessed is the prophetess, purified by flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition, so let it be. Oh, I didn't see you there. I recite the Maker's blessings every day. It brings me peace in troubled times.
I don't remember asking. Yeah, I don't find comfort in such things.
It gives me hope that one day the Maker will hear us, that maybe I'll be forgiven and my curse will be lifted.
Yeah, I think a lot of fantasy worlds like having this, like, you know, BC AD kind of split. Common Era or before Common Era, or the Age of whatever and the Age of whatever, because we have had different calendar systems, and we have a before Christ Anno Domini system, or before Common Era system, and people like to we draw from real world example when we create fiction, like, you know, imitation is a pretty pure form of creation. So I think a lot of it draws from that, trying to artificially create the illusion of age and history rather than just a bunch of random numbers. To be fair, I think Dragon Age does a much better job than, say, the Faerun setting for Dungeons and Dragons, which is completely unintelligible and honestly, I've read over the timeline for D&D for Faerun, God, like a dozen times, and still I couldn't tell you what the common era or modern year is in that setting. Couldn't fucking tell you. Yeah. Bethesda gets kind of silly with its different 4-era split. Yeah, but I kind of like it too, honestly. It doesn't make the most sense, but I mean, there are calendar systems like the Mayan calendar system that have lots of ages and eras, and like the first year of this and the 10th year of that and the first year of this, the second year of this, the 7th year of this, the 14th month of this, the 8th day of that. And there's a lot of ways we can keep track of time, and I kind of want to see a system that does a good attempt at a Mayan calendar. Yeah. Or just something that is a little divorced. I don't mind it, because it sets up some groundwork for, like Bethesda did with playing with different timelines and different settings within that narrative. But in Dragon Age, like all of these games take place in what, a 10-year period? It's a little silly. Oh god, I want to see a game mimic the Roman console-based system. I don't. I can understand why you do. That sounds like a headache to me. But I'm like a Romanophobe. I don't like Rome and its bureaucracy and its timekeeping. I don't like much that's Roman. The Maker doesn't care about you, lady.
Why would our transgressions hurt him so? If he didn't care...
You're of grog and grok.
I fear my magic will remain a constant reminder of how mankind has failed the Maker.
Maybe. There's definitely an appeal there. Magic is a gift?
Magic causes such misery. It's dangerous and vile and wicked. The Chantry must protect the world from us. Being born with something so terrible must be a punishment. I wish I could be rid of it.
Go be made tranquil.
That takes the magic from me? It does, doesn't it?
Not really, it sorta does. Yeah, go talk to your mentor.
Imagine. No fear of becoming an abomination. Not being reviled by common folk in Chantry. I should go. My mentor only allows a few minutes each day for religious contemplation.
Well, mages are, in the Dragon Age setting, are really interesting. Bureaucracy is what civilizations are built upon. Some of them. Some of them are built upon bureaucracy. Some of them are... Well, no, broadly you're right. At least the ones we think of, like China and Rome. Chinese bureaucracy, I like. I really like dynastic China bureaucracy. Roman bureaucracy makes me want to stab the eyes out of the people who wrote it up. God damn it. The only bureaucracy Alex likes is China's. Feeling a little called out here. It's elegant. It's quite elegant. And Rome's is like, I don't know. Maybe I need to better study the classical Roman bureaucratic system, but to me it's just like corrupt to its core and irredeemable and not really based on merit. It's like all the worst parts of the modern world. It sounds horrible. What do I want? These require 25 magic. Do I want Cone of Cold? Not really. What do I want next? Lightning's pretty tempting. I don't really want any heals. The fire's cool, but I already have frost weapons, so there's no need. Yeah, it's meritocracy. The Chinese bureaucratic system was based off of your ability to memorize the great works, the classics of China, and to write essays based upon your understanding of them and your interpretation of them. The Chinese dynastic bureaucratic system had a series of exams where you would need to pass an exam in order to be qualified for a local office. And then you would have to pass a more difficult exam to be qualified for a regional office. And then a more difficult exam to be qualified for, you know, the next status. It's super interesting. It's merit-based in the sense that you need to pass the tests, but still it's not really merit-based in the sense that certain people had access to the education that afforded them that opportunity. Some people maybe cheated and got away with it. Some people had test results fudged. Yeah, no, cheating was a thing, but cheating was also punishable by death. It was a very serious crime. The exams were very heavily examined. You weren't allowed to have anything with you when you went in to take the exams, and if you were found cheating, and it tended to end very, very, very badly for you. And even once you got your exam completed, you would be evaluated amongst your peers based upon the poetry and analyses that you wrote, the works that you did, and your social connections, if you would actually be appointed to a certain office or not. Chinese bureaucracy, a lot of Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, especially in legalism later in China, was based around the idea of merit, based around the idea of excellence and being sage-like. It's very, very cool, honestly. Even if in practice it may not have always worked ideally, the bones of the system, the infrastructure and bureaucracy of the system, I find inspired. Okay, we're gonna move this here. But again, you know, I'm not a cinephile. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm a big fan of Chinese history and philosophy. And yeah, maybe I'm a bit of a sinologist, but I'm not a very good sinologist. The Chant of Light, the Blight. No matter their power, their triumphs, the mage lords of Tevinter were men, and doomed to die. Then a voice whispered within their heads, "Should you surrender your power to time, like beasts of the field? You are lords of the earth. Go forth to claim the empty throne of heaven, and be gods." In secret they worked, magic upon magic, all their power and their vanity, until they turned against the veil. And at last, it gave way. Above them a river of light, before them the throne of heaven, waiting. Beneath their feet the footprints of the Maker, and all around them echoed a vast silence. But when they took a single step toward the empty throne, a great voice cried out, shaking the very foundations of heaven and earth. "And so is the golden city blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You brought sin to heaven and cast doom upon the world. Violently were they cast down, for no mortal may walk bodily in the realm of dreams, bearing the mark of their crime, bodies so maimed and distorted that none should see them and know them for men. Deep in the earth they fled, away from the light. In darkness eternal they searched for those who would goaded them on, until at last they found their prize, their god, their betrayer, the sleeping dragon Dumat. The taint twisted even the false god, and the whisperer awoke at last, in pain and in horror, and led them to wreak havoc upon all the nations of the world. The first blight. Trinity's 8. I think you might like this game called Three Kingdoms Total War. You know, honestly, I really like the Total War series. Up to a point. I get a little bored of... I get burnt out pretty quickly on battle after battle after battle once I find a really good army composition. I have wanted to play Three Kingdoms. Initially, it seemed pretty broken, but it looks much better now. I've been playing of Total War. I've been playing a lot of Warhammer too, honestly, and it's hard to go from magic and demons and monsters and, you know, lots of rad shit to back to normal human history. But I've thought about it.
Let's get started.
There was once a tiny fishing village in the waking sea that was set upon by the Tevinter Imperium, which enslaved villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathous, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was a child, Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of an Alamari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Tevinter. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, how he had left them to their fate, but her voice had reached him, and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return, to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Maphoreth, and told him all that the Maker had revealed to her. Together they rallied the Alamari and marched forth against the mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself. Fire and flood, famine and earthquake, everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The ranks of Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide washing over the Imperium, and when Maphoreth saw that the people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last, the armies of Andraste and Maphoreth stood before the very gates of Minrathous, but Andraste was not with them, for Maphoreth had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Tevinter. For this, the Archon would give Maphoreth all the lands to the south of the Waking Sea. And so, before all the armies of the Almeri and of Tevinter, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned, while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened. He took pity on Andraste, drew his sword, and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved, cursed Maphoreth, cursed mankind for their betrayal, and turned once again from creation, taking only Andraste with him. And Our Lady still sits at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. From the Sermons of Justinia II. Resident Sleeper Warhammer, yeah, it's not for everyone, but I like it. I like it. The lore try hard and grimdark. Yeah, it's kind of cool. The Lizardmen, though, gotta love the weird, high-tech, high-magic lizard folk. Best faction. There was no word for heaven, or for earth, for sea, or for sky. All that existed was silence. Then the voice of the Maker rang out, the first word, and his word became all that might be. Dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it made his firstborn. And he said to them, "In my image I forge you. To you I give dominion over all that exists. By your will, may all things be done." Then, in the center of heaven, he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. The children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne and sang hymns of praise unending, but their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth the banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You've been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing." And he knew he had wrought amiss. And so the Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the Fade a measure of its living flesh, placed it apart from spirits, and spoke to it, saying, "Here I decree opposition in all things. For earth, sky. For winter, summer. For darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. And no longer was it formless, ever-changing, but held fast, immutable, with words for heaven and for earth, for sea and for sky. At last did the Maker form the living world, make men, immutable, as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. The Maker said, "To you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the Fade I crafted you, and to the Fade you shall return each night in dreams, that you may always remember me." And the Maker sealed the gates of the Golden City, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Thronides 5:1 through 8.
I heard about your harrowing. Congratulations. Andraste must have smiled upon you.
Andraste's a false god. There are no gods, no masters, only magic. Let's go.
Many have already gone to Ostagar. Wynn, Aldred, and most of the senior mages. We've committed enough of our own to this war effort.
Your own? Since when have you felt such kinship with the mages, Gregor? Or are you afraid to let the mages out from under Chantry supervision, where they can actually use their Maker-given powers?
How dare you suggest?
Gentlemen, please. Irving, someone is here to see you.
You rang?
If it isn't our new sister in the circle. Come, child.
This is...
Yes, this is she.
Well, Irving, you're obviously busy. We will discuss this later.
Of course. Well, then, where was I? Oh, yes, this is Duncan of the Grey Wardens.
Is this why you had me summoned?
There is something else, but I wanted you to meet Duncan first.
Well, I've met him.
Heard about the war brewing to the south, I expect. Duncan is recruiting mages to join the King's army at Ostagar.
That's all you wanted to tell me?
Of course not. I wished to congratulate you on a successful end to last night's ordeal. The harrowing is behind you. Your phylactery was sent to Denerim. You are officially a mage within the circle of Magi.
My leash, you mean?
Now, child, it's not that bad.
I'm sorry, what is this phylactery?
Blood is taken from all apprentices when they first come to
Duncan, how do you not know what a fucking phylactery is?
Preserved in special vials.
So they can be hunted if they turn apostate.
We have few choices. The gift of magic is looked upon with suspicion and fear. We must prove we are strong enough to handle our power responsibly. You have done this. I present you with your robes, your staff, and a ring bearing the Circle's insignia. Wear them proudly, for you have earned them.
What happens now?
Patience, child. You have been through an ordeal. Let us not rush things. It goes without saying that you shall not discuss the harrowing with those who have not undergone the rite. Now then, take your time to rest, or study in the library. The day is yours.
Oh, thrilling. All right. I'll do that.
I will return to my quarters.
Would you be so kind as to escort Duncan back to his room, child?
Sure.
The guest quarters are on the east side of this floor, close to the library.
I've lived in this tower my entire life. Why are you telling me where the guest quarters are?
With Gregor.
I ain't never been here before. Pile of books. Lure me, daddy. Alright, what we got? The ancient, foul and corrupt are you who have taken my gift and turned it against my children. Transfigurations 1810. The ancient Teventers did not originally consider blood magic a school of its own. Rather, they saw it as a means to achieve greater power in any school of magic. The name, of course, refers to the fact that the magic of this type uses life, specifically in the form of blood instead of mana. It was a common practice at one time for a magister to keep a number of slaves on hand so that, should he undertake the working of a spell that was physically beyond his abilities, he could use the blood of his slaves to bolster the casting. Over time, however, the Imperium discovered types of spells could only be worked by blood. Although lyrium would allow a mage to send his conscious mind into the Fade, blood would allow him to find the sleeping minds of others, view their dreams, and even influence or dominate their thoughts. Just as treacherous, blood magic allows a veil to be opened completely, so that demons may physically pass through it into our own world. The rise of the Chant of Light and the subsequent fall of the Old Imperium has led to blood magic being all but stamped out, as it should be, for it poses nearly as great a danger to those who would practice it, as to the world at large. From the Four Schools, a treatise by First Enchanter Josephus. Duncan. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevailed. Like many others, Duncan gave up his family name when he joined the rank of Wardens, a symbolic gesture of cutting ties. You might say this was a convenience in his case, however. His mother was from the Anderfels, his father from Deventer. He spent his childhood in the Free Marches and in Orlais. His people were everywhere. His homeland was nowhere. He was given the most impossible task of leading the Wardens in Ferelden, a kingdom that had thrown the Order out 200 years earlier. Facing local suspicion and hostility, he set about finding recruits. Grim and taciturn, Knight Commander Gregor has been Knight Commander of the Templar forces stationed at the Circle Tower for so many years that hardly anyone, except the First Enchanter, recalls that he's not simply a part of the tower himself. First Enchanter Irving. There's no higher office in the Circle Tower than that of First Enchanter. The one who holds the title must not only be an administrator, but also a mentor, a leader, and a surrogate parent to all the mages of the tower. Irving has proven himself to be all these things with an added dose of cunning. Most apprentices know that little goes on in the tower that Irving does not know. He can soothe Templars angered by some childish magical prank. At the same time, he lauds the pranksters, and everyone walks away satisfied. Oh hey, controls. Alright, creatures. Oh yeah, probably should have read about this, huh? A great deal is made of the most powerful demons, those that create abominations and those that have changed the history of Thedas. It's also forgotten that not all demons are awe-inspiring beings. Some that break through the cracks in the veil into our world are known as wisps, a sliver of a thought that once was. A wisp is a demon that has lost its power, Either it existed in our world for too long without finding a true host, or it has been destroyed, often, so we found, by other demons. What remains of its mind clings tightly to one concept that created it: a hatred of all things living. While its ability to target a living creature is limited, these wisps often mindlessly attack when encountered in the Fade. In the living world, they've been known to maliciously lure living into dangerous areas, being mistaken for lanterns or civilized light sources. This does, however, seem to be the very limit of their cunning. An attack by wolves upon civilized folk happens rarely. Often only in times of desperation, and even then when the wolves have the advantage of numbers. But this can change during a blight, when darkspawn rise to the surface of their presence dramatically alters the savage nature of normal beasts. In blights past the corruption of the darkspawn spread through wild areas of Thedas, it would infect the animals found there, and more powerful of them would survive and become transformed into more vicious and dangerous beasts. A blight wolf is one such example. Mad with the pain of infection, it's only thought the overriding command of the darkspawn, as it retains some semblance of pack instincts. Blight wolves are always found in large groups and will tend to overwhelm a single target, if they can, using numbers to their advantage. It's fortunate that these creatures rarely survive their corruption for very long. It is rather unfair, the reputation that the wolf possesses in Ferelden. For people that so clearly adore their hounds, Ferelden simultaneously harbor distrust of wolves that borders on the unreasonable. Unreasonable, that is, if one were not familiar with the ancient legends regarding werewolves. There was a time in Ferelden's past where demons inhabited the bodies of wolves in great numbers, causing wars against werewolves and spreading great fear and panic. Werewolves were slain, but even today the noble wolf is still looked upon with distrust. Sloth demon. Then I looked upon the creature in it and become me. A veritable copy of my form, of my very mind, stared back at me as if it were within a mirror. I thought surely this was a trick, an illusion meant to put me off guard, but as I engaged with the thing with my sword, it fought me with maneuvers that I recognized. It parried as I parried. It swung as I swung. It spoke to me and said things that only I could know. I think this demon of sloth has no form or identity of its own. It is envy, as much as sloth, I believe, and mine was not the first shape that it stole that day. An excerpt from the transcribed deposition of Tyrenius, Templar commander of Cumberland, 390 Towers. The most difficult assumption for those who study demons to overcome is that the notion of a sloth demon is in and of itself slothful. If it were so, it seems highly unlikely any such demons would cross the veil into our own world, or once here would fight to possess any creature with a will of its own, and we know both these things not to be the case. Certainly some demons are lazy and complacent, but who knows? Perhaps these creatures cultivate such a reputation. The truth is, the demons of sloth are so named because this is the portent of the human psyche that they feed upon. Doubt, apathy, entropy. They seek to spread these things. The sloth demon hides in its forms, a master of shapes and disguises, always in the last place that you look. And from its hiding place it spreads its influence. A community afflicted by a demon of sloth could soon become a dilapidated pit where injustices are allowed to pass without comment. None of the residents could be aware that such a change has even taken place. Sloth demon weakens, tires, tears at the edges of consciousness, and would be much rather render its victim helpless than engage in a true conflict. Such creatures are best faced only with a great deal of will, and only with an eye to piercing their many disguises. Encountered in the Fade, the true form of a rage demon is a frightening sight. A thing of pure fire, its body seemingly made of amorphous lava, its two eyes pinpricks of baleful light radiating from its core. The abilities of such a demon center on the fire that it generates. It burns from those who come near, and the most powerful of its kind are able to lash out with bolts of fire, and even firestorms that can affect entire areas. Fortunately, even powerful rage demons are less intelligent than other varieties. Their tactics are simple. Attack an enemy on sight with as much force as possible until it perishes. Some rage demons carry over their heat-based abilities into possessed hosts, but otherwise, true form is mostly seen outside of the Fade when it's specifically summoned by a mage to do his bidding. Thank you. Yeah, I like reading the lore too. Normally when I play on my own, I'm so impatient and I just click through things and try to get through as quickly as possible. But when I'm recording or streaming something, if there's content in the game that, you know, people put time into making, I try to showcase it, even if it's just story time with Alex. What up, Cullen? I'm not gonna see you for 2 more games, and by then you're gonna get a hell of a facelift. Hey buddy, who's gonna de-age? Who's gonna look 10 years younger and not have that dumb little beard anymore? And hey Cullen, did you know you're gonna end up being important? I sure didn't.
Hello. I'm glad to see your harrowing went smoothly.
Why are you stuttering?
What? I'm fine. I'm just glad you're all right, you know?
Yeah, I knew I wouldn't fail.
You've always been so confident, or so I hear. I've heard of failed harrowings, and the consequences were unpleasant.
I shouldn't distract you from your duties.
Oh, you're not distracting? I mean, you are, but, well, you're not.
Oh my god.
I mean, you can talk to me anytime if you want.
I
yes.
forgot about this.
Maybe we can talk another time.
Jesus, you're awkward, Cullen. Yeah, no wonder you get taken in by a lust demon later on. We don't need to talk. I mean, unless you want to. Ha ha. Unless... ... You must not be under the impression that magic is all-powerful. There are limits. Not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of traveling, either over great distances or in small ones, beyond putting one foot in front of the other. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this, so no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathous to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. You'll simply have to be prepared. Similarly, am I wrong, or is that not the case in... I swear that there's a blink-like spell. Maybe? Maybe they bend on that? I don't recall. I remember there being like a short dash-like magical ability, but now that I'm saying it, I'm actually not sure. It could have been a different game. Similarly, even when you send your mind into the Fade, your body remains behind. Only once this barrier has been overcome, and reputedly, the spell requires 2/3 of the Illyrium and the Tevinter Imperium. Wait, what? As well as the lifeblood of several hundred what? Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly the spell required 2/3 of the Lyrium and the Tevinter Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipice of death when breath and heartbeat have ceased, but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. That is no failing of skill or power, it is simple reality. From the lectures of First Enchanter Wenceslas. Rogues in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition have the backstab little teleport. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't go into the Fade thing? Oh, buddy. we do go into the Fade here. In this game, I don't think you physically go into the Fade, right? It's all projections. In Dragon Age 2, I think it's all projections, but in Inquisition, no, you just straight up go into the Fade. Granted, you know, there's some
I wonder how the king's army fares.
extenuating circumstances.
Talk of a new blight.
New blight. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Sorry, this was not the guest quarters. I think he said the east side. We're just taking a tour, all right? Hello? Nothing over here. Don't mind me. Y'all got any of that dust? Another staff. Mage, can I ask why you're carrying around 5 staffs? Don't worry about it. Staves? Sweet, sweet Illyrian dust.
Thank you for escorting me.
Yeah, well, I think you do that in a lot of games, creating rules just to break them, because it makes it cool or exciting when somebody breaks the rules, right? But if everyone can do it, then it's not so exciting anymore. It's staves, yeah. Hey, Duncan.
Is there something else I can do for you?
I'll leave you alone. I mean, listen, you have so much lore, but like,
I can do for you?
What's happening outside the tower?
Ah, I imagine you don't leave very often, do you?
We're not allowed to leave.
I am not a good source of news, I fear. I am preoccupied with the Darkspawn incursion.
Cool. Why don't you tell me about that?
Certainly. I am intimately familiar with these subjects, after all. It is not my place to comment.
Right, I forget you get, like, nothing out of him. I'd like to know.
Gregor serves the Chantry, and the relationship between the Chantry and mages has always been strained.
You don't
You've
say.
realized by now that the Chantry merely tolerates magic? They watch only because they feel they must.
Yes, but they were arguing about the war.
Any mages who join the King's army can unleash their full power on the Darkspawn. In fact, I'm counting on it. Gregor may be afraid of what will happen. What if the mages decide they no longer want to be governed by the Chantry?
Yeah, a lot of video game books do fail to capture the feeling of the game. Unless they're by the same authors, they don't really fit quite right. I do like the expansion of lore that some of them offer, but for the most part, it hasn't been something that's attracted me much either. Alright, well, what are your opinions on the matter?
I believe we must defeat the Darkspawn, one way or another. My opinions end there.
Okay, Duncan. Alright.
Of course. Don't let me keep you.
I forgot. Duncan is, is a little two-dimensional. Hey, Joan.
I'm glad I caught up to you.
I didn't click on you.
With Irving?
Were you following me?
Does it really matter?
Yes.
I need to talk to you. Do you remember what we discussed this morning?
Of course I do.
We should go somewhere else. I don't feel safe talking here.
Better not be wasting my time, Joan.
It won't take long, I promise.
Only a little bit. I only have one mod installed. I can't tell if the textures, I think these are native textures.
We should be safe here.
Yeah, I think these are native textures. It's just in very high resolution. Alright, what's going on?
A few months ago, I told you that I met a girl. This is Lily.
That's forbidden.
So you can
but that's illegal.
Keep it a secret.
Lily's been given to the Chantry. She's not allowed to have relations with men. If anyone finds out, we'll both be in trouble.
And you'll only have yourselves to blame.
I won't give Lily up for anything.
Yeah, I mean, by a very generous definition, the ability to slap someone all the time is a sex mod. If it gets you off, it's a sex mod. Alright, great. Get married, have kids. Can I go now?
There is something else. Remember I said that I didn't think they wanted to give me my harrowing? I know why. They're going to make me tranquil. They'll take everything that I am from me. My dreams, hopes, fears, my love for Lily. All gone.
Yeah, okay, what does this have to do with me?
I need to escape. I need to destroy my phylactery. Without it, they can't track me down. We need your help. Lily and I can't do this on our own.
Give us your word that you will help, and we will tell you what we intend.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved.
You're just walking away?
It's all right, Shawan. There's always... We must have faith. I understand your reluctance, and I can only beg you won't violate our trust.
We'll see.
Our lives depend on your silence. Pretend we never spoke.
That's not happening, kiddos.
Wish us luck and pray for us.
I have no heart. I'm a PC. All I know is murder, loot, and repeat. By that I mean I have to go tell the first enchanter, and he'll be like, yo, you should help them escape though, because the game's kind of it's on rails right now. Yeah, the one mod I am using is Quinn's Ultimate Dragon Age Origins Fix Pack 3.5.2. It fixes a lot of things. It restores broken Codex entries, restores human-female cocky sound set, stored options show mercy to Mandar Days, restored a significant amount of dialogue, 40 lines worth in the Mage Origin. Okay, that's why some of this feels different. Restored dozens of scripted approval changes, restored 35 different reactions to breakups, restored harsh breakup with Liliana, restored turning Morgan as an apostate to Gregor, restored dialogue when talking to Morgan, etc., etc., etc. A lot of stuff. I was looking at a couple others, but this seemed like the most non-intrusive mod, and I wanted a mostly vanilla experience because I plan on transferring the saves, so getting like super badass weapon and armor set, I mean, it's cool, but I don't need that power trip. You get overpowered as shit in this game anyway.
Yes?
Who are you?
Senior Enchanter Leora, in charge of the Circle's laboratory. Is there something?
I'm not sure what kind of playthrough we're gonna do here. I might be evil, might not. It really depends on what feels right in the moment. I play a lot of good playthroughs, but I don't think I have the patience to be compassionate. And it's kind of fun to be playing evil characters. In the D&D campaign I'm playing right now, I'm playing a lawful evil, chaotic evil? God, I can't remember my own alignment. I'm playing an evil character, and oh my god, it is satisfying to just tear into people and be like, no, I'm not helping you unless you pay me. No, that's not enough. Okay, sure. Pay me up front. Take the money, betray them, get money from the other person, betray them, rinse and repeat, just becoming a fucking monster. Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun time. What's that door over there?
That leads to the Circle's cavern storerooms. There are caves running through the rock that the Circle is built upon. But of course, you know this.
Can I look?
No, I can't let anyone in there just now.
Come on, lady, show me your cavern.
There are just things in there that I would prefer to keep safe.
I bet. What things?
Sensitive magical materials and substances, of course. I am in the midst of stock taking, checking inventory, and I can't let anyone in there in case they mess things up. Yes.
The jokes just make themselves. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So how long is that supposed to take?
Quite a while. Don't wait up.
You're hiding something.
Wait, no, don't. Look, I'll tell you the truth. Just keep it to yourself. There is an infestation of spiders in the caves. I don't know how they got in there, but it's probably my fault. I was promoted to Senior Enchanter less than a fortnight ago, and I don't want anyone to find out. They'll think I'm incompetent.
Well, are you?
I hope not. I mean, no. I'm a good mage. I've just been so busy with my new duties, I haven't had time to clear out the infestation.
I could do it.
If you cleared them out for me, I would owe you a favor. A big one.
Is that it?
I really have nothing to offer you. There are things in the storerooms, of course, but I'm not at liberty to just give them away.
Alright.
Wonderful. Here is the key. Oh, and be careful in there. I'd really like to keep the damage done to the Circle's property to a minimum.
Oh, it's too bad the spiders took all this stuff. Utter shame. Oh no. The spiders, they took all the gold, and oh wow, it's bright in here.
Right.
Oh my god. How many staves is that? The magic staff gives... Oh god, I forget the magic, the spell power conversion, but I think magic is just better. Yep. Ring of Study. Sweet. Spirit Charm. Is that actually an equipable thing? Oh, 10% fire resistance. Yay! That's marginally useful. That's useful slightly in very specific circumstances. Hooray! Spider me up, dog.
Right.
It's spider time. Giant spiders tend to appear in old ruins and other places where the veil has become thin because of magical disturbances or a great number of deaths. In such places, spirits and demons pass into the world of the living and attempt to take control over living beings, spiders amongst them. Not all scholars accept this explanation for the presence of these beasts, however. Some claim that the thinning veil allows magic to leak from the Fade, tainting creatures such as these spiders to transform into larger and more potent creatures than they would ever become naturally. While such spiders are known to possess powerful poisons and the ability to fling their webs at opponents in combat, studies of them have been few, and the full range of their abilities are unknown. That aggroed on me? Damn, dude. Okay.
Less fighting, more dying, blast you! Let's get started.
Ooh. Crafty bastard, you poisoned me. I'm gonna wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There we go. Oh, it's saved. Oh, it's dead anyway. Oh, got anything interesting back here? Ooh, another magic staff. Very exciting.
Let's get started.
25 copper, because of course, what self-respecting spider goes into town without a little bit of coinage? Doop. Lots of runes. Yeah, I forgot how quickly you get those and how you can't use them for such a long time. Enchantment? No enchantment. Not yet. Aight. Fade Striders. +1 magic boots. Squeep it bop. I don't think Origin is a difficult game if you play it in a reasonably linear fashion. If you insist on trying to kill Flemeth very early on, for example, oh yeah, you can have a bad time, but I'm speaking from experience here. But generally, it's not a hard game. Particularly because I'm playing on normal. You clever son of a bitch.
You had it coming!
Normally when I go off about, yeah, the game's not hard, is the perfect time for situational irony and for me to just get my teeth stomped in by the game. And, you know, although I didn't die in that encounter, I think the dramatic irony was still notable. Had a slightly harder time than normal, slightly more difficult time. Yeah, you know, mage towers are famous for their caves. We're on an upper level of the mage tower. I'm kind of unclear as to where this is geographically. Because the mage tower, it's on an island, and it protrudes up from that island. The front door does not enter into the side of like a wall or something, and from that front level, we've gone upstairs, right? So somehow on the second floor, let's say, of this tower, there's a cave system, which, what? And also this cave system just descends into the fucking abyss and is full of giant spiders. Pardon you? It may well be that they intended to have this look like a storeroom, but didn't have, like, the tile set ready in time, or they just didn't think about it for more than, I don't know, more than a little while. It's a tad incongruous. Well, sneaking Lyrium in, they can do that through the basement, right? Where we have to go to get the phylactery. That makes sense that it's underground because it's actually subterranean, but this is above ground. This is an above ground cave system that just it doesn't make any sense. Here, what's Ferelden Circle Tower. This is what I'm talking about. This is what it looks like. That's a really... This one's gorgeous, my god. Yeah, Kinloch Hold is the name of the place that we're in, and there... On the second floor, there's like no... Where are these caves? The storage caves are a place, but they don't make any goddamn sense. So we'll just pretend for immersion's sake, right? This is on the ground floor or subterranean, that this is a stairwell leading downward and isn't just only accessible from the second floor, but it is a little interesting.
You're back.
It's a portal, except that you can't teleport, right? It's just a spiral staircase that goes down to a storeroom. I've dealt with the infestation.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful. You've saved my hide, I'm sure. And I owe you a favor, so if you need anything, I'll be here.
Keeping the creepy crawlers away?
Exactly. I'll be here, keeping the crawlies away.
Cool. Do you actually act as a vendor? No, you don't. Okay, well that's a disappointment. I couldn't remember. Okay, there's your quest done, and I think we're done here. I think she's the only side quest? She's the only side quest I remember here. So I think we have to go talk to the first enchanter next. And that's about it. Tranquils, we have to come back here later to get a firebrand, I think. Is that right?
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
What can I buy here?
The stockroom is not a shop. Your mentor should have clarified this. The stockroom stores components used in magical and alchemical experiments. Do you require something?
No.
Very well. Goodbye.
Yeah, one of the mods I wanted to install added the Tranquil brands to the foreheads of all the Tranquil, as they have in all the later games, but... Meh. Again, it had like 3 prerequisite mods, and at a certain point I'm just like, my time's more valuable than this. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. field and forest shall burn, the sea shall rise and devour them, the wind shall tear at their nations from the face of the earth, lightning shall rain down from the sky, and they shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Andraste 7:19. Sometimes called the school of power, the primal school is the second of the schools of energy, balanced by spirit, and concerns itself the most visible and tangible forces of nature. This is the magic of war, fire, ice, lightning, devastation. This is what the vast majority imagines when they hear the word magic. From the Four Schools, a treatise by first enchanter Josephus. The Tranquil. Although apprentices do not know the nature of the harrowing, all of them understand its consequences. They either pass and become full mages, or they are never seen again. Those who fear to undertake the rite of passage, or those who are deemed too weak or unstable, are given the rite of tranquility instead. The actual procedure, like the harrowing, is secret, but the results are just as well known. The rite severs connection to the Fade. The Tranquil, therefore, do not dream. This removes the greatest danger that threatens a weak or unprepared mage, the potential to attract demons across the veil. But this is the least of Tranquility's effects, for the absence of dreams brings with it the end of all magical ability, as well as all emotion. The Tranquil, ironically, resemble sleepwalkers, never entirely awake nor asleep. This is part of the circle, however, and might say they're the most critical part. They have incredible powers of concentration, for it's simply impossible to distract a Tranquil mage, and this makes them capable of becoming craftsmen with such skill that they rival even the adeptness of dwarves. The Fomari, the branch of the circle devoted to item enchantment, is made up exclusively of Tranquil, and is the source of all the wealth that sustains the towers. From On Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in Human Society by first enchanter Josephus. The Grey Wardens. The first blight had already raged for 90 years. The world was in chaos. A god had arisen, twisted and corrupted. The remaining gods of Tevinter were silent and withdrawn. What writing we recovered from those times is filled with despair, for everyone believed, from the greatest archons to the lowliest slaves, that the world was coming to an end. At Weishaupt Fortress in the desolate Anderfels, meetings transpired. Soldiers of the Imperium, seasoned veterans who'd known nothing their entire lifetimes except hopeless war, came together. When they left Weishaupt, they had renounced their oaths to the Imperium. They were soldiers no longer. They were Grey Wardens. Wardens began an aggressive campaign against the Blight, striking back against the Darkspawn, reclaiming lands given up for lost. The Blight was far from over, but their victories brought notice. And soon, they received aid from every nation in Thedas. They grew in number, as well as in reputation. Finally, in the year 992 of the Tevinter Imperium, upon the Silent Plains, they met the Archdemon Dumat in battle. A third of all the armies of northern Thedas were lost to the fighting, but Dumat fell, and the Darkspawn fled back underground. Even that was not the end. The Imperium once revered 7 gods: Dumat, Zazakel, Toth, Andorral, Razakael, Lusakan, and Nerthimiel. 4 have risen as archdemons. The Grey Wardens have kept watch throughout the ages, well aware that the peace is fleeting, that their war continues until the last of the dragon gods is gone. Probably should have realized I got that when I talked to Duncan, but I didn't. A section of books appears to be missing. Opposition in all things. For earth, sky, winter, summer, lightness, dark. By my will alone is balance sundered, and the world given new life. Thronides 5:5. The School of Creation, sometimes called the School of Nature, is the second of the schools of matter, the balancing force and complement of entropy. Creation Magic manipulates natural forces, transforming what exists and bringing new things into being. Creation requires considerable finesse, more than any other school, and is therefore rarely mastered. Those mages who have made a serious study of creation are the highest in demand, useful in times of peace, as well as in war. From the 4 schools, a treatise. First enchanter, Josephus. Whoop, I can click on you. Hierarchy of the Circle. It's no simple matter, safeguarding ordinary men from mages and mages from themselves. Each circle tower must have some measure of self-government, for it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail, as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You, who will be tasked with the protection of the circle, must be aware of its workings. The first enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course for the circle. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and be made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the first enchanter will be senior enchanters, a small council of most trusted and experienced magi of the tower. From this group, the first enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the enchanters. These are teachers and mentors of the tower, and must get to know them to keep your finger on the pulse of the circle, for the enchanters will always know what is happening amongst the children. All those who have passed their harrowing, but have not taken apprentices, are mages. This is where the most trouble in a circle lies, in idleness and inexperience of youth. Untested apprentices are most numerous denizens of any tower, but they often pose threats to themselves due to their lack of training, more so than to anyone else. Knight Commander Serene of the Chantry Templars, in a letter to his successor.
Do you need something? If not, step back. You're in my light.
Either you're tiny or that book is huge, or both. Your light?
I'm trying to study. Have some consideration for a fellow mage.
You're just an apprentice, not a mage.
I will be soon. I have studied hard, and this opportunity will not pass me by. This is a chance for me to prove I can achieve as much as any human. Many humans believe elves are only fit to be servants.
I agree. We should show them.
We should be better mages than humans. Our ancestors must have been great wielders of magic. With most of our history lost, I suppose I'll never really know. Maybe the Dalish elves would, but I've never met one.
Lost history?
When elves were taken on as slaves, we lost most of our culture. Few of us even know our own language. I hear the Dalish try to keep the old ways alive. Must be easier for them outside human rule.
Wish I knew the old language.
As do I. Perhaps one day I will have the chance to learn it. Are you from an alienage? I'm from a farm outside High Ever. My mother worked as the cook's assistant there.
Denerim is the capital. Where is Lothering? Lothering is where Hawk is from, right? And Lothering is the town that gets completely stomped on. I guess I'm from Denerim, sure.
I'm glad I didn't grow up in one of those. Life was hard on the farm, but at least we were treated fairly well. I suppose it doesn't matter where we're from, does it? We're in the circle now.
We're reviled as mages as well.
I am satisfied knowing the humans who look down upon me will fear me instead. But I should get back to my books.
Goodbye then.
Good day.
They will learn to fear me. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Scare those humies. Freak out the normies.
Will they? They haven't done anything, and I've heard that the ache would...
And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You shall be given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you have done nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing." Theronides 5:4. The first of the 2 schools of energy, spirit, is opposed by the primal school. It's the school of mystery, the ephemeral school. This is the study of invisible energies, which surround us all at times, yet are outside of nature. It is from the Fade itself that this magic draws its power. Students of this school cover everything from direct manipulation of mana and spell energies to the study and summoning of spirits themselves. By its nature, it's an esoteric school. As most others know virtually nothing about the Fade, studies in spirit magic are often misunderstood by the general populace, or even confused for blood magic, an unfortunate fate for most useful branch of study. From the forest schools, Atreides, first enchanter, Josephus.
Soften a little on the libertarian. I think someone's here to speak to you, Senior.
Nope, I'm not. I'm just listening into your conversation and reading the Codex. It is a truth universally acknowledged that nothing is more successful at inspiring a person to do mischief as being told to not do something. Unfortunately, with the Chantry of the Divine Age had some trouble with obvious truths. Although it did not outlaw magically, quite to the contrary, as the Chantry relied upon magic to kindle the eternal flame which burns in every brazier and every chantry, it relegated mages to lighting candles and lamps, perhaps occasional dusting of rafters and eaves. I will give my readers a moment to contemplate how well such a role satisfied the mages of the time. It surprised absolutely no one when the mages of Val Royeaux, in protest, snuffed the sacred flames of the cathedral and barricaded themselves inside of the choir loft. No one, that is, but Divine Ambrosia II, was outraged and attempted to order an exalted march upon her own cathedral. Even her most devout Templars discouraged the idea. For 21 days, the fires remained unlit while negotiations were conducted. Legend tells us, by shouting back and forth from the loft. Mages went cheerily into exile in a remote fortress outside of the capital, where they would be kept under the watchful eye of the city Templars, and a council of their own elder Magi. Outside of normal society and outside of the Chantry, mages would form their own closed society, the Circle, separated for the first time in human history. From Of Fires, Circles, and Templars, A History of Magic in the Chantry by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just reading some books. Entropy. The second of the two schools of matter, entropy is the opposing force of creation. For this reason, it is often called the school of negation. Nothing lives without death. Time, inevitably, brings an end to all things of the material world, and yet an ending is the seed of a new beginning. A river may flood its banks, causing havoc, but bring new life to the floodplain. A fire that burns a forest ushers in new growth, and so it is with entropic magic that we manipulate the forces of erosion, decay, and destruction to create anew. From the Four Schools, Atreides, First Enchanter, Josephus. Why would I talk to you?
Were you looking for something?
Just books.
Well, there are lots of them here.
What were you talking about?
Oh, the fraternities. Groups of mages with a common agenda. I think we should all be isolationists. Stay in some remote mountain town far away from the mundanes who hate us.
Why don't you leave then?
I'd go hide alone in the wilds if I could. But you know they just brand me an apostate and hunt me down. There is no leaving the circle. It's till death do us part. Romantic, isn't it?
Who are you?
I'm Njal, a mage just like you. I've seen you around, haven't I? I must have.
Yeah, I can't stay to chat.
Have a good day.
I don't need to learn what an apostate is. We've already gotten a pretty good grip on that. I'm just here to read books and slowly work my way around to accepting the quest to get us out of here. Yeah, we're at like 2.5 hours. Fine. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to do. You can rush through this game, but I'm enjoying taking it slow. All right, Irving.
Ah, there you are.
Yep.
I ran into Duncan. You seemed to make a good impression. He was pleased to have met you.
I'm sure he was. We didn't talk much.
You should speak to him more if you get the chance. He's a wise and learned man. No, you haven't seen your friend Jowan since this morning, have you?
Yes, I spoke to him not long ago.
I wanted to know if he was feeling all right. He seemed nervous when I spoke to him. He avoided my gaze and seemed ready to bolt. You wouldn't know what brought about this behavior, would you?
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that, actually.
Well, I'm here now. Tell me what this is about.
He's going to be made tranquil.
And I presume his lover Lily told him about this. Yes, I've known for some time. Now, I know Jowan discussed something with you today. What did he say?
Oh, he wants me to destroy his phylactery.
I could simply report Jowan to the Templars, but Lily has also broken her vows and must face like consequences. For this, we need irrefutable proof of her crime. The Chantry will stand behind her, claiming she has been framed or is in the thrall of a blood mage. There must be no doubt in their minds that she helped him voluntarily.
Okay, how will you... How?
Tell Jowan and Lily you will aid them. Help them enter the repository. If that is what they intend, we will catch them red-handed. No one will be able to dispute the severity of their crimes.
Alright, yeah, but what's in it for me?
No charge from me is beyond your duty to this circle. Remember your place. You must obey this order. Go. Convince them you will risk all for their cause. I will be outside the repository with a contingent of Templars. Let them see the mischief into which their initiate led our student. Perform well, and your dedication will be rewarded.
Yeah, sure, just use human lives as pawns in your petty politicking game between you and the Templars. Sure, yeah, this won't be a consistent theme throughout the games. No, I'm sure there's nothing to fret about whatsoever. Hey, Jowan, I've had a change of heart.
If you're not going to help, leave me alone.
Forgive Jowan. He can be surly. But why have you returned? Please say you've changed your mind.
I have changed my mind.
Thank you. We will never forget this.
Make it quick. What's the plan? What are we doing?
I can get us into the repository, but there is a problem.
Of course there is.
There are 2 locks on the phylactery chamber door. The first enchanter and knight commander each hold 1 key. But it is just a door. There is power enough in this place to destroy all of Ferelden. What's a door to mages?
Okay, yeah, we break through.
I once saw a rod of fire melt through a lock. You could get one from the stockroom, but Owain doesn't release such things to apprentices.
Alright, I'll get it.
We should stay here. 1 mage at the stockroom will attract less attention than a mage, an apprentice, and an initiate.
Yeah, okay, I'll be back.
Black, our prayers go with you.
And this is the point where I go in there and they're like, you need a first enchanter to sign off on this. And then you go do the subquest for that first enchanter where she's like, kill these spiders. But because I did that already, we can just go ahead and nip in, nip out. Be like, hey bud.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
I need a rod of fire.
Rods of fire serve many purposes. Why do you wish to acquire this particular item?
What can they be used for?
Some mages require them for their research. Others merely want to light fireplaces.
I need it for research.
Here is the form, Request for Rod of Fire. Have it signed and dated by a senior enchanter. I will release a rod to you once I have the signed form.
Alright, I'll be back.
Thank you.
Just engage with the bureaucracy of the system. Where am I going? Is it Hudis? Library, guest quarters, mage dorm, Irving study, chapel. It is directly behind me. Mage laboratory, I think, is where she is. At the table. Yes? Yes. Hello.
It's good to see you again.
Great to see you too. Can you sign this?
A rod of fire? Oh, sure, I could sign that. What would it hurt?
Yeah.
Right. There you go. How's that?
You should not have your position.
It was a pleasure. You'll go far in this circle, I bet.
Nope, I won't. I'm gonna be kicked out of the circle and inducted into the Grey Wardens rather than kill me. But sure, yeah, no, I'll go far in the circle. I'll come back here later after you all let demons out. But, yeah, I'll go far.
Welcome to the circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
Here's sign form.
Everything looks to be in order. Here is the rod you requested.
Thank you, Owain. What up, nerds?
I hate waiting. It makes me nervous.
God, you are whiny.
That was quick.
To the repository, then. Freedom awaits.
Yes. Freedom. Freedom awaits. Yeah, totally. Freedom. Yep. That's what's awaiting you. Zoom the camera to change the... Oh shit. A book.
As you wish.
Sorry, hold on. I need to read this real quick. I know you want to escape, but... Mana is that which defines a mage. It is a potential that dwells within a person, but does not always manifest itself. All people are connected to the Fade. We go there to dream, but only those with this potential may draw upon its power. Mana is, then, a measurement of one's ability to draw power from the Fade, and it is this power that is expended in magic. As in all other things, it has limits. Just as a person has the strength to lift only so much weight and no more, a mage cannot work more magic at one time than their mana allows. If they wish to work more mana than would be beyond their strength, a mage must bolster their mana with lyrium. Without lyrium, it is possible for the reckless to expend their own life force in the working of magic, and occasionally ambitious apprentices injure or even kill themselves by overexertion. From the lectures of First Enchanter, Wenceslaus? I think it's Wenceslaus. It's Bohemian, it's Czech, and I don't know how to say it. I think it's Wenceslaus, though. There was at least one King Wenceslaus? At least one. Was he Hungarian or Bohemian king, though? That's the question. I can't remember. This is not important, but...
The Chantry calls this entrance the Victim's Door. It is built of 277 planks, one for each original Templar. It is a reminder of all the dangers those cursed with magic pose.
How do you know this?
Initiates must learn the Circle's history if they are to work with Templars and mages.
Okay, but how do we get past
The
it?
doors can be opened only by a Templar and a mage entering together. The Chantry provides the password, which primes the ward, and the mage touches it with mana to release it.
And you have the password.
Yes, I got it from a Templar who recently accompanied a mage into the vault.
Okay, so what do I need to do?
First, the password. Sword of the Maker, Tears of the Fade.
And now we enter?
Password only primes the door. Now it must feel the touch of mana. Any spell will do, but hurry.
Why can't Jowan do this? I should have asked that. Can he just not cast magic? I mean, he can. He has spells, but...
Do you have the rod with you? Melt the locks off.
Wham. Use rod on the locks, but nothing happens.
What's the matter? Why isn't it working?
I don't know.
Something's not right. I can't cast spells here. Nothing works.
These wards carved into the stone. This must be the Templars' work. They negate any magic cast within this area. I should have guessed. Why would Gregor and Irving use simple keys for such a door? Because magical keys don't work. How do you keep mages away from something? Make their powers completely
Lady, what
worthless?
happened to your eyebrows?
That's it then. We're finished. We can't get in.
God, you are overly dramatic. There's gotta be another entrance.
That door?
Yeah, through that door.
To another part of the repository. What are the chances of there being another entrance?
It's worth a try.
Get into the chamber the way we
I don't feel bad about
but
betraying
we're
you
not about
two.
to give up. We can see where this door leads, but I don't think it'll be easy. It looks locked for one.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, well, onward then.
Let's hurry. We've wasted enough time.
Yo, you two have wasted enough time.
I'm not giving up. We've come too far.
Hey there. Animated armor that is not breathing, but that was a hell of a way to enter a cutscene.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh no! Who could have predicted that this magical suit of armor standing ominously in the hall, not on a platform, would lash out and attack people who are breaking into basements?
I'm not afraid of you.
Has to be.
I'm not afraid of you. Well, maybe you should be.
I'm no pushover. You'll see.
You are, Jowan. You are a pushover, though. You don't know it yet, but like, God, you're an idiot. A Wudan crate. Another apprentice cowl. Fantastic. Do 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 do.
Let's get started.
Da 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 da.
This should be easy enough.
Novice flame rune doesn't do me much good at all. The suit of armor bleeds. Yep.
Right.
But is that not normal? I guess that does imply that this isn't just like a suit of armor, that there's like some organic form inside of it. The truth is that it's just the same fighter model later on, and it's just renamed as Sentinel. But like, they leave behind skeletons too, so maybe there are just people down here who are posing as statues that we're murdering, because this... magical statues don't typically leave this behind. But they don't speak, and like that one I zoomed in on, they don't breathe either. Like, look at Jowan. He's not moving much when he breathes, but there is a slow breathing animation, and Lily has one too. They move, but the Sentinels don't move. They're undead trapped inside of armor, probably. Because, I mean, this is a spooky ghost Sentinel helping him out, so yeah, undead or zombie is probably what we're looking at here. Humorously enough, I don't think the Codex ever explains. Right? If we go into creatures, yeah, no explanation. They're just Sentinels.
The Maker.
Don't think about it. Just, come on, player, just hit the spell button. I love Deep Stalkers. Get it. She got absolutely wrecked. Oh, Jowan, your lover's dead. She's not actually dead. She's just out for this combat, but it'd be hilarious if she didn't come back and just bled out there. Killed by Deep Stalkers. Can't prove that she's guilty if she's dead. Storage cabinet. Pretty deep inside the cave, yeah. Well, the Deep Stalkers would have needed to get in somehow, right? Presumably through, like, these overgrown windows? My god. I think we've run into more sentinels down here than people I've seen in the tower upstairs. The explanation for that is just, you know, hardware limitations at the time. Which is why I really wanted to check out the immersive mod that added a lot more people. But it sounds pretty bugged, so I didn't really want to wrestle with trying to figure out if mods work well or didn't work well, which ones work well and which ones didn't. I kind of just wanted to hit the ground running, get some spirit resistance from that. So that's what we're at. Apprentice amulet, is that any good? Armor, yep, that is better than what I'm wearing. Yeah, deep, these little dudes live in the deep roads for the most part. They're cool little terrifying heads. And I don't recall this section being exposed to the deep roads, so I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering. It's entirely possible.
Either you or me. It's gonna be me. Why can't this be easier?
I could give them weapons here, but they're both going to die when all is said and done. So, honestly, I'm probably going to take away what equipment they do have before we reach the end here, just so I can then flip and sell it for like a copper later on. Oh. Deep mushrooms. I mean, there's like holding cells down here.
This should be easy enough.
I love that the sentinels, the robe sentinels, don't have a head. I don't remember that being a thing, but I'm very okay with it. It's quite silly. If you're a ghost sentinel, you don't have a body. But if you're a normal sentinel, you do have a body and leave money behind. Are we done here?
Let's explore.
Listen. You two are not long for this world, so I'm just gonna take that clothing and hold on to it for safekeeping.
I think the phylactery chamber is on the other side of the wall behind this bookcase.
Yeah, the wall looks weak in spots.
We should be able to find something that can knock some of the bricks loose.
Alright, you'll have to help me then.
If we work together, we can shift it. Come on.
Bookshelves aren't that heavy. Oh, I was looking for something on the bookshelf. Oh, hey, a chest. Will this help? It'll help me, because it's a better staff. Black and heartwood staff, more damage, more spell power, less magic. What's the conversion here? Magic. Each magic is equal to 1 spell power, effectively. The magic attribute also determines how effective potions, poultices, and salves are for all classes. So it's a 1-to-1. Okay. Then more spell power is better? Yep. Hey, statue.
There's something odd about that statue.
It's alive. Wonder who it is.
Greetings.
Maker's breath, did it just say something?
Sure did.
I am the essence and spirit of Eleni Zenobia, once consort and advisor to Archon Valerius. Prophecy my crime, cursed to stone for foretelling the fall of my lord's house.
Archon Valerius.
I'm not sure. The Archons were the lords of the Imperium.
Yes.
Forever shall you stand on the threshold of my proud fortress, he said, and tell your lies to all who pass. But my lord found death at the hands of his enemies, and his once proud fortress crumbled to dust, as I foretold.
A Tevinter statue! Don't listen to it. The Tevinter lords dabbled in many forbidden arts. This is a wicked thing.
Alright, you two should probably tell from the fact that you're not wearing any clothes and I put in my backpack that I don't care about your input. How'd you get here?
It must have been here for years. Look at the dust. I feel a little sorry for it. Her.
Weep not for me, child. Stone they made me, and stone I am, eternal and unfeeling. And I shall endure till the Maker returns to light their fires again.
Do you need help?
No help can be given me, for this is my doom and my destiny.
Ambiguous rubbish. It could mean anything. I can do it too. The sun grows dark, but lo, here comes the dawn.
Stop talking to it. Please, both of you.
Can't do much with it anyway.
Let's go.
Don't talk to the statue. Lily, I don't care about your church. The Imperium is little more than a dilapidated old slattern, crouching in the far north of Thedas, drunkenly cursing at passers-by to recall her faded beauty. One concede Minrathous was once the city of the world. Vestiges of her power and artistry yet stand, but they're buried in layers of filth that the Imperium's decadence has accumulated over the ages. The Magiocracy live in elegant stone towers, literally elevated above the stench of the slaves and the peasants below. The outskirts of Minrathous are awash in a sea of refugees, turned destitute by the never-ending war between the Imperium and the Kunari. And yet, the Imperium survives. Whether with sword or magic, Tevinter remains a force to be reckoned with. Minrathous has been sieged by men, by Kunari, by Andraste herself, and has never fallen. In Pursuit of Knowledge, Travels of a Chantry Scholar, by Brother Genevinti. I like the idea of the Imperium. It's very Rome. It's very Byzantine Empire, but like magic. It's neat in theory. We don't see a lot of it in any of the games. We see some, but not a ton.
Use this with
Next Dragon Age should be set in the Imperium. Well, good, it should be. Because we've seen Ferelden, we've seen Orlais, we've seen some of the free marches. So that makes sense. I'm really more interested in the Kunari and where they came from. Because, like, the homeland of the Kunari is very obfuscated and kept in myth.
We must find Jowan's phylactery, quickly.
Right, let's look around then.
Shouldn't be hard to find. There aren't many phylacteries here.
Shouldn't there be phylacteries for all of us here? Oh, right. Hello, fellow teens. Why me? How have I wronged you? Yeah, you know, it's only like 1 or 2 copper that I get for selling their clothes, but listen, it's 1 or 2 copper than otherwise I get, because if they die, by that I mean when they die, you don't get their money. You don't get their equipment. A foolish person playing through the first time might give them better equipment, some of the boots, or weapons, or shields that you have. Nope, it's not how you do it.
This should be easy enough.
These are not real people. It's a trick. There's snow in here. How the fuck is there snow in here? We're in a very temperate part of the map and it's like in the middle of summer. Jowen's phylactery. You see his phylactery.
Phylactery! You found it!
Yep.
I can't believe this tiny vial stands between me and freedom.
Habib it.
So fragile. So easy just to be rid of it. To end its hold over me.
It's cocaine. Ah, shit, you're right. This is the coke dungeon. Alright, well, let's move on.
I do not want to stay here a moment longer.
Yep. No reason to stay. We got everything we came for. Yep. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. And this is the time where I should have taken off their clothes. I didn't need to do that prior to this. And hey, I can level up. Let's do that. Hold up. I have 14 cunning. I could just hit 16 cunning now and never think about this again. I think I'm gonna do that. Because I can pick up shock. That's another AoE, though it's really not all that impressive. Arcane Shield basically boosts my defensive capabilities. I want that for staff focus to make my staff attacks better. Me and my naked swinger buddies in the coke dungeons. I mean, I've been nothing but like a complete prick to these people, and they're just like, we're all friends. They're like, what evidence have you seen of friendship here? I've been a monster to you. All right, all done here. We can just leave the tower. Totally nothing suspicious at all.
We did it!
We did it!
Thank you. We could never have...
Yep.
So what you said was true.
Oh no, what a twist! You two are in big trouble.
An initiate conspiring with a blood mage. I'm disappointed. She seems shocked, but fully in control of her own mind. Not a thrall of the blood mage, then.
Here's a mod that shows exact numbers and skills and abilities. That would be kind of nice, actually.
Chantry will not let this go unpunished. And this one. Newly a mage and already flouting the rules of the circle.
It's not her fault. This was my idea.
She is here under my orders, Gregor. I take full responsibility for her actions.
Wait, you led us into...
Yeah, I kind of just stack spell power and don't really do the calculations, but it's cool that there is something for that. I may install that. I may look at more mods after this. Your foolish plan was doomed from the start.
Don't you dare speak to me.
Enough. As Knight Commander of the Templars here assembled, I sentence this blood mage to death. And this initiate has scorned the Chantry and her vows. Take her to Aenar.
Gasp.
The mage's prison. No. Please, no. Not there.
No! I won't let you touch her!
Alright, the blood magic books that were hanging out in Irving's library. I forgot to ask about that. That's an important plot point.
How could you? You said you never...
I dabbled.
I dabbled?
Make me a better mage.
Blood magic is evil, Jowen. It corrupts people, changes them.
I'm going to give it up. All magic. I just want to be with you, Lily. Please, come on.
And this guy covered in blood seems legit, Lily.
I was ready to sacrifice everything for you. I don't know who you are, Blood Mage. Stay away from me.
Run away, bloody naked man.
Where's Gregor?
I knew it. Blood magic. To overcome so many. I never thought him capable of such power.
I knew he was acting suspicious.
None of us expected this. Are you all right, Gregor?
As good as can be expected given the circumstances. If you had let me act sooner, this would not have happened. Now we have a blood mage on the loose and no way to track him down.
You can't have gone far.
Believe me, we will use our every resource. Where is the girl?
I am here, sir.
You helped a blood mage. Look at all he's hurt.
Yes, Lily, you should have known better.
Knight Commander, I was wrong. I was accomplice to a blood mage. I will accept whatever punishment you see fit. Even Aenar.
Get her out of my sight. And you were in a repository full of magics that are locked away for a reason.
Did you take anything important from the repository?
No.
Very well. I believe you.
Your antics have made a mockery of this circle. What are we to do with you?
Nothing?
As I said, she was working under my orders.
And this improves the situation? The phylactery chamber is forbidden to all save you and me.
I had my reasons.
You're not all-knowing, Irving. You don't know how much influence the Blood Mage might have had. How are we to deal with this?
Knight Commander, if I may, I'm not only looking for mages to join the King's army, I'm also recruiting for the Grey Wardens. Irving spoke highly of this mage, and I would like her to join the Warden ranks.
What? You've promised him a new Grey Warden?
She has served the Circle well. She would make an excellent Grey Warden.
We look for dedication in our recruits. Fighting the dark.
Yeah, Duncan just like, what if I propose a solution?
I object. You say she operated under your instructions, Irving.
Yeah, he is very much Deus Ex Machina incarnate in this game.
I will not release this mage.
Hello, I'm Duncan. I'm a plot device. Well, I'll go. Yeah.
Rhaegar, mages are needed. This mage is needed. Worse things plague this world than blood mages. You know that. I take this young mage under my wing and bear all responsibility for her actions.
This mage does not deserve a place in the Order.
Why? Do we not reward service? This mage has served the Circle well. You have an opportunity few even dream of. Do not squander it.
So I'm gonna be a Grey Warden then, huh?
Yes. Be proud, child. You are luckier than you know.
If you say so. Alright, well then thanks for everything.
Come. Your new life awaits.
See you, losers. I'm out. I'm going to a doomed army. They're gonna fare not much better than the friends I betrayed here.
We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Kaelan. I didn't expect a
royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Now kiss.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is she?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
There's no need to be so formal, Duncan. We'll be shedding blood together after all. Ho there, friend. Might I know your name?
No friend of yours, human lord.
You've got yourself a lively one, Duncan. And I was beginning to think the wardens were all stodgy priests. I understand you hail from the Circle of Magi. I trust you have some spells to help us in the coming battle.
Yeah?
Excellent. We have too few mages here. Another is always welcome. Allow me to be the first to welcome you to Ostagar. The Wardens will benefit greatly with you in their ranks.
Well, we'll see about that.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
I'm very confident of that.
Overconfident, some would say. Right, Duncan?
Yes. Yes,
Your Majesty,
Kaelin, you're gonna die
I'm
here.
not certain the blight can be ended quite as quickly as you might wish.
I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
Peace, loser.
What the king said is true.
Oh God, just let
They've
me
won
save.
several battles against the Darkspawn here.
He didn't take this darkspawn very seriously.
True. Despite the victory so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Then we should move quickly.
Yes, we should proceed with the ritual.
Yeah, the writing for the dwarf nobleman is very, very good. I like the human noble start a lot. The city elf start is really good. The dwarf commoner one kind of sucks. But yeah, there's so much that you learn about the setting from playing through and all the origin stories. You definitely don't get the full experience until you check all those out, because when you then later go to where the dwarves are, or you go and interact with this noble house, or you finally meet up in an alienage in Denerim, then you know the people and you know their stories, and the world becomes a much more rich and full place. What ritual?
Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the Joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
All right, well, let's get this over with.
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair.
You mean the heir apparent?
Out and tell him it's time to summon
I mean, what? Alistair, the Insufferable, is related to Kaelin the Insufferable?
Should you need to.
But all that will be next time. This is gonna be... That's how you spell. Load this, my dude, number 1. We put in 3 hours, got through the tutorial. Well, one of the tutorials. Now we're in the prologue. We're still in the prologue. We're not the origin, but we are in the first chapter. I mean, we get one companion, the extended tutorial, let's call it, and then we'll be out in the game world. But we're gonna try to keep these episodes shorter than 3 hours. This will be uploaded on YouTube whenever it is that the current Hearts of Iron series is done. But if you're watching on YouTube, obviously this is it for today. Until tomorrow, I'm gonna say toodaloo, take care. I will see you then. Bye-bye.